Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to another installment of Show to Be with Mike G, the show of life, the show of Detroit, Michigan, Buffalo. But most of all, this is the story of Nickel City. That's right, the very, very iconic bar just so quickly became an icon of Austin and national acclaim. I've got Travis Tober and Brandon Hunt talking about how they met, talking about the concept, and talking about a new location in Fort Worth, Texas. I wanted to be the first one to drop the news. Eater beat me to it, but that is right. Nickel City #2 coming to Fort Worth, and you hear Brandon and Tober talk about this great project and how they are expanding. So, without further ado, I hope you guys enjoy the story of Nickel City.
I think when we officially met, I think me and Brandon both ordered an old fashioned at.
I have a bad memory.
What was that?
My earliest memory was sitting at the hotel.
That was. Did you forget like the whole month before?
I guess, yeah.
When we met at not Rustic Temple. What's the steak?
Oh yeah, Hofbrau. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an old fashioned, and we both had an old fashioned. You asked me what I thought. I was like, "That thing's fine. That's great. Yeah, it's good."
So you guys,
it was a test to see how dainty he was.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually impressed that you ordered an old fashioned at noon. It was
it was a working lunch. Brandon, were you testing Tober?
A little bit, yeah, because he came with such high accolades. It was kind of like, are we gonna do this craft cocktail bar? Because I don't want to do that. I don't want to be $18 cocktails.
Yeah.
That's just not where I come from. And he came, again, so much praise came with meeting him. I already came with the guard up, not feeling this guy.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because, I was talking about you today, Tober, and P. Diddy really made a fucking name for himself in the late 90s and the 2000s, and everything he touched at this particular moment, but it was like over a decade long, turned to gold.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see the reticence. I could see, this Tober guy, is he like really substance or is this all flash? So when you met and actually sat down, which year are we talking when you guys met?
This was 2 years ago now?
A little bit over. 2016, right? Yeah, we're in 2016.
2016. Yeah. Did you call him to a meeting to say
hopefully, I don't want to sound mean, but
please tell me
where it came from was I already had a girl in mind to run the bar.
No kidding.
And the idea was, and if we would have done that,
like I always said, how would that turn out?
Yeah, I'd be trying to get a job with this guy. But the context that it came from was that Craig, who is our partner as well, was you got to meet this guy. You got to meet this guy. And no offense to Craig, but Craig usually doesn't roll with the same people I roll with.
Right.
Craig is Portland, Maine, shirt tucked in, business guy. He handles his shit.
Down tempo.
Yeah, and I'm like, man, I just want a neighborhood bar. I don't want a cocktail bar. I don't want it to be stuffy.
Right.
And he's like, just take the meeting, man. I'm like, all right. I'm trying to be better about this.
Sure.
I'm just going to take the meeting and meet the guy, and we'll move on from him. It's always... I'm very guilty of being the smartest guy in the room always.
Sure. But do you like that feeling? Or are you open?
No, it's not a healthy place to be.
Right.
Because you're not. Hardly ever are you the smartest person in the room.
So you perceive yourself as the smartest guy in the room.
I'm trying to not be that way because I have an image or a thing that I want the bar to be.
Sure.
And whoever Craig is bringing around, I don't give a shit who it is. I don't want to meet him. And because my ego's out of control at this point. And then I meet Travis at Hofbrau, which, have you ever been to Hofbrau?
Just a few times,
It's like 1930s steakhouse,
Yeah.
still on the
Then on the flat top.
flat top with a lemon butter sauce served with some white Wonder Bread. I mean, it's just...
You get a salad, it's just like iceberg and some cheese.
Yeah, it's awesome. And it is like, this could be a scene in a movie.
Yeah.
And I just knew the minute we look like brothers.
Sure.
Where
At least both look like brewers.
But we just hit it off. It was crazy. I couldn't explain the high that we had.
Yeah. What were you guys talking about? Because obviously it wasn't just business. You're bound to talk about other stuff.
We kind of talked about our upbringings and just like we both kind of basically grew up poor, poor.
Our moms raised us.
Yeah, our moms raised us poor Rust Belt trash.
Are we all mom raised guys here?
Yeah.
Single mothers?
Yeah, single mothers.
See how successful we become?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I actually think it's a true barometer of success because we've got more fucking to prove.
Yeah, I mean, you had more to prove and more to fight for.
And you're rounded too. You have a woman's look on things a little bit.
Okay, so this is a brief tangent, but I think it's actually quite important because knowing the guys, because you think whiskey's machismo, right? You think about a whiskey bar, you think about a dive bar. Some people call it Nickel City. Oh, of course, it's it's just these dudes. It's a boys' club.
Yeah.
But you know what? Do we not have a better appreciation for women and everything they have to go through because our moms had to do that same thing?
Oh, 100%. And it's weird too because at the bar, we just hired a bunch of people for a season, and I was just like, I have one guy bar back. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I have one guy bar, two guy bar backs, kinda.
Yeah.
And it's just we just hired 2 new bar backs and they're both women, and I'm just like, that's awesome. And they're just getting right in there, and I was just like, 20 years ago when I started bartending, that just never happened.
Yeah.
It didn't happen.
I mean, in a whiskey again, you're pretty pleased to see that, Brandon. Really a great amount of diversity behind the.
Of course, I mean, via through and three is, half. I'd say it's 50-50.
Oh, really?
Women to men, and even upper management, it's mostly women.
That's amazing.
Not like we sat around and thought this out, but
right.
that's just the way
they're
it's
just
worked.
more sensible.
It's
there's such a plethora of kind of skills and things that we can't really relate to that women can provide. Back house, front house, all
more
that.
organized.
Sure.
They're cleaner. I always kid.
Not as gross.
Yeah. They
no beards.
No sexual harassment usually. They're keeping us in check, so it's healthy. I think to be checked.
It really is, man. Oh, and I'll share a story with you guys when we get done recording this. It's very funny, but okay. So you got this legendary steakhouse, been in Austin for quite some time. You guys are both drinking old fashions. You're super maybe skeptical of Tober.
A little bit.
Your straight-laced friend introduced you to the P. Diddy of Austin, right?
Mm-hmm. And I never even heard of him.
Oh, really?
This is even better. I'd never even heard of this guy.
That's fucked up.
What?
You definitely heard of me.
He's a brand. You bought a brand in this thing.
I didn't even know that, though. I realized it a year and a half in.
He's a tour. What is it? Force de Triomphe.
Yes.
Right?
Forced to something.
Forced to something.
He's impressive. The only time I'll be nice to him is right now.
Well, the mics are rolling, right?
Yeah.
That's what he's nice.
Hopefully you edit all this out. But.
I mean, this is kind of what makes the story, though. This rapport that was instantly kind of built between you two.
Yeah.
So, it's not a working lunch, but it's a working lunch. Did you ideate? Did you kind of sort of brainstorm what this thing would be?
I think we both kind of had the idea of just this neighborhood bar. Nobody once had a dive bar, which was healthy.
I mean, I think it was I think my opening statement kind of sealed the deal. It kind of already did when I walked in, and we were just kind of hey, we're both, all of us are sore thumbs sticking out in this place. And I walked up and everybody sat, and then Craig came in, and we all started talking. And I think Brandon just wanted to dismiss me very quickly and said, "Oh, so what kind of bar do you want to open up?" I was like.
You're a prickly guy, aren't you?
I want to open up a neighborhood whiskey bar, keep everything cheap, kind of everybody gets to hang out, have a great time, enjoy everything.
Yeah.
And he was just like, damn, me too. Okay. So next, so he kept on quizzing me.
And really the thing that sent it over the edge was the handshake shit.
What's that?
You get a handshake when you walk in, you get a handshake when you walk out.
High fives and handshakes.
Yeah, and I was like, all right, that's exactly what I want.
Okay.
I guess what we try to set out to do, and I mean, in not so many ways, I guess, kind of accomplished is the nicest bar on the East Side, and not just because. Listen, I mean, Austin, Nashville, any of these cool cities, they're really fucking cool. Man.
Sure,
you know what I mean, and it just falls into prey, especially now that bartending's become such a cool fucking thing.
Yeah,
it kind of falls into that. I call it the hipster bullshit service. You know what I mean? It's just we all forget about service. At these bars or restaurants that are just on awards and whatever and circle jerks and all this. And it's just you know what I mean? whatever happened to like, hey, can I get you like a glass of water? And hey, how are you doing?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
the
like,
foundational stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and just like, it's just like what, like one of my interview questions is always like, why does your, why does your daiquiri taste better than everybody else's? And like the bartender would be like, oh, because I shake it, this, or I use this kind of. I'm like, I'm not looking for recipes, buddy.
Yeah.
I'm looking for because the daiquiri is ready for when you walk in the door, right when you sit down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just all about service, and that's the main thing. So getting rid of that hipster attitude, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, dude. We're all hipsters in some way.
Well, we got a lot of privilege in this industry,
yeah,
man.
for sure. And it's just like, I mean, like every once in a while, do you ever go to like Papados or something like that? And it's like, get blown away by
Love
service.
it. It's right.
It's
Why
the
is
best
Papa?
service?
And I would absolutely book a reservation for Friday night at Papados.
Are you kidding me? I mean, that's run by Matt Tanner,
right.
ex Anvil guy. I mean, the drinks are on point, the service is on point. I mean, everything about it is amazing.
Yeah.
And it's just like people shit on chains, but it's just like the service
Well,
is so good.
the
Well, they've
places
got
that
the
are busy,
process.
like I'm sorry,
No, please.
Chick-fil-A and Papa
Yeah.
Brothers, everything they do, these are all places that just are focused on service. The
Right.
food is so secondary.
Yeah, even though it's amazing.
It's
still.
amazing.
It's still good. Yeah.
It is strange. It's this kind of sensibility about being humble,
Mm-hmm.
making sure that people get a good experience because you're being nice and you're off. Because again, the
You're
product
talking
is
to the
second
two right guys about
So this is
humility.
what, yes. So when you're doing Via, right, which is a pizza place, and everybody gets pizza,
Right.
and everybody gets whiskey to some degree. They may not get a sidecar, which is lovely on the menu. You guys
Yeah.
do it really good, but people get these things.
Right.
So for you, where did you even get the ability to understand like that's what's really most important is being humble and
When we open, when you do the trailers, we had 2 trailers for 3 years. It's the bar is so low. Like if you just open up on time,
yeah,
you're the fucking best.
no shit.
Okay. And if you're open when you say you're going to be open, you're killing it already. And then service was never a huge thing. I mean, it was always just be civil out of the food trailer. It was never a big deal. But when we opened Oak Hill, we quickly had that tagline of our food makes friends, our service keeps them. And that's it. Like you'll come in to check out the food, but we want you leaving talking about the service and the execution and just the friendliness of everybody, because it's weird because you got metal music blasting.
Right.
It's it's kind of dirty.
Yeah, but something about that's really connective.
Yeah,
Because, we get into like how saturated things are. People want me to feel a certain way. People want to sell me this. But like something about metal and kind of a place, it's because I have a conversation. That's still homegrown organic shit. Here's the thing, though. It's an interesting question. You're trying to open up more to people, right? And like be warmer and all of this. How do you provide good service when maybe you aren't the warmest of guys? And this isn't a critique.
I think one-on-one, I'm probably not the warmest person in the world. I'm kind of a little bit of a grump.
Sure.
But when it comes to, if I worked at a hotel, it would be the best service you've ever had, because I get the game. I get the importance of, that book of like raving fans of that, everything, Yelp, Google, Facebook, Instagram, all that shit matters as much as you can say much you hate it. It doesn't discount it.
Absolutely.
So all that matters is when somebody leaves and they're telling 10 of their friends that Nickel City was the best time they had, or Via was the best time they had, and they're not even talking about the food,
right?
Or the drinks. That's all that matters.
Man, so this idea of a place that's accessible, where you get good service, and it's just a place you want to be, part of the community too. Is that a big?
Oh,
big
it's
part?
huge. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you a number of how much money Nickel City and Via 313 is donated and orchestrated. Try to have different events daily. With it feels like daily.
I mean, just in 3 days. I mean, Nickel City's been $1,100 donated, and I mean, I'm sure
that's great.
Yeah.
Via's 10 times that, in the last 2 weeks. But
yeah, it has. I don't even know what the number is.
Yeah,
but
it doesn't
it's
even matter
irrelevant.
though. It's the gesture itself.
Yeah,
right?
it's not even about getting noticed for it. It's just about
because I didn't see a post about that.
Right, and when we grew up, and I know I can say this, the neighborhood pizza place was the place that the baseball team went to, the hockey team went to, the football team went to, and that pizza place supported our jerseys and our helmets, and and then that was
Or
very,
the bar, actually. I mean, I played T-ball for a bar.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
awesome.
I don't have as big of a bar background as he does. So.
I literally played T-ball sponsored by a bar.
Yeah, for every drink he's had, I've had pizza for. So.
So this sensibility grows. You guys have this common vision. The next steps are, where the hell do we do this? Did you have it, Brandon? Any idea where you wanted to? Like
we already
build-up?
had the building. I think we were pretty far in negotiations when we met. When all the four of us met.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I, as far as I know, you guys had like the in on it.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
it's a weird story because
stock bar.
a girl that I used to hang out with was babysitting.
Sorry, no.
No. Was babysitting, hanging out with long time ago.
There you go.
Long time ago.
You're bad. Yeah.
She used to hang out, or she would babysit this guy's kids, and he would come home after the bar every night and be like, I hate this bar, I hate it, I just want to get rid of it. So she would text me and be like, I don't know if you're interested, but this bar is it's awesome, it's historic, and this guy like
such a good bar.
Yeah, and he's just shitting on it, and he's stealing money. I'm not throwing him
right,
under the
but
bus,
just he's done with it.
He's just
resentful.
Over it. Yeah, he's over it. He's probably, how old is 50, 60 years old?
Maybe 50.
I mean, he's got to be over it.
He's awesome. He comes to the bar once in a while.
And I'm not lying. The negotiations went $80,000, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000, $100,000. $80,000 before noon tomorrow. Cash, always cash.
Oh, man.
To him just getting evicted.
Yeah.
And that's where Craig was important on the deal. Is Craig had the in. Once he got evicted, Craig was kind of buddies with the guy that had the master lease. And thankfully it didn't slip out of our hands.
So how long did you say before you had, not a deed, but you had a signed lease in your hands, you were ready to go?
That was over 2.5 years of just bullshit. Because that guy that we're talking about is just so fucking crazy.
Right.
And
was there any chance that it wasn't going to happen? Did you see
always.
it kind of slipping? Oh,
yeah.
Like every day?
Every
you deal
day.
with crazy. Yeah.
Every day. The guy, you can't fucking make deals with crazy people.
Yeah. That's a great point.
It's an iconic bar. It's one of the oldest bars.
Yeah,
in
Long
Boston.
Branch.
I mean,
talking,
it's
right?
Yeah.
I mean, this is legendary bar. Like legendary things have happened there.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, it's the original Driscoll Hotel bar.
Yeah.
So I mean, the history.
The back bar is the original Driscoll.
Yeah.
Hotel.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, they found it in an alleyway and brought it over in the 30s.
Jesus,
So it's
I had
just
no idea.
crazy the history that just they shit on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it ended up getting done. We still paid, I don't know, like 80. I don't know if we're supposed to talk numbers.
No, but
whatever.
I mean, I think it's good for other people. You don't even have to like affix to it, but sometimes it's people, they deliberately obfuscate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like that shit.
No, it's
Well, there's a magical word in Austin. It's called key fee.
yeah. It
It
pay to
doesn't
play.
exist in most markets.
Yeah.
And it's key fee in
It's
Austin.
pay to play here.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. No, actually, I don't like it, but I like that I understand
It doesn't
now.
matter because if you hit, that $80,000 is so irrelevant now.
Yeah, and you're gonna in Austin. A lot of times you have to like basically budget 20% of your build out for a key fee,
No
Yeah.
shit.
which is insane.
That's
I mean, so
crazy.
luckily we were. I mean, not okay with it. I mean, we were okay with it. We had to be,
Yeah.
but we had the vision for it.
I think the thing that sucked was that you usually get hit from one angle, whether it be a key fee, high rent, or percentage rent,
Right.
which means if your sales go over $100,000,
Right.
you got to kick 6% back to the landlord. And it was like we got hit on all three of them,
Oh man.
Yeah.
and it felt like we were just getting. I don't know what the PC thing is, but you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
getting fucked over.
Yeah, we were just getting,
Or ramrodded.
Yeah, that's the word.
Well, so I mean,
Use your imagination.
it's close to being out of your grips day after day, which is got to be intensely.
And then we get it, and we're like, "This isn't even a good deal."
Yeah.
Like this sucks. We've been fighting for 2.5 years for this thing, and we're getting destroyed on every level.
was financially, or was there some like infrastructural
Well, it's
stuff
just we
that
got
was?
a huge rent.
Yeah.
The build out was almost $500,000.
Yeah.
And then we're paying the key fee. We're paying the percentage rent. So if we are successful, now we have to pay the landlord even more money.
More
Yeah.
successful.
But-
more money, more problems.
Yeah. But honestly, a year and a half in, it doesn't. None of that shit matters.
Yeah, it doesn't really. I
It's
mean,
so
like
relevant now.
We knew what we got. We got a legendary bar that everybody knew about it. Like I like to say, everybody in Austin, I would say 4 or 5 years ago, knew about the Long Branch.
Sure, of course.
Everybody had either everybody had a Long Branch story.
Right?
Everybody had a strong story, but unfortunately, the last 5 years before we took it over, they were usually bad stories.
Yeah.
I mean, but everybody loved the bar. Everybody felt like connected to it. If you're a bar person, an industry person, a neighborhood person, you felt connected to that bar.
Yeah.
But
Brandon, did you get to go to Long Branch before it shuttered?
Yeah, I'd been there probably twice and hated it. It was disgusting. I mean, we almost had to power wash the ceiling because it probably hadn't been even touched in 50 years. Yeah. I mean, it was just disgusting, and it was past a dive bar. I mean, the plumbing hadn't been updated, so the plumbing would from the sink along the wall out, like basically outside to the sewer system. There was no underground plumbing. It was all from like whatever year they did it, 1920.
Jesus. So it's just like top of the soil kind of thing.
That was.
I mean, we basically had to rip the whole floor out, rip the place. I mean, it was a total it was bigger than any VIA project we'd ever done.
No kidding.
For this neighborhood bar.
So Travis, did you ever? Sorry, Tober, because it's like Diddy. I know. I need to get this.
I need a cool nickname. Can you just call me Slim for the rest of the interview?
That's good. I love those kind of things. That's great. So, had you ever been involved with anything that was, in a sense, such a train wreck in terms of breaking or build out and having to redo all this stuff?
No, I mean, because I've opened up a ton of like corporate restaurants and stuff like that, but it's always been new builds or I mean, like you come in after the dirty work is done. But this was, I mean, I remember like when we started getting it, and it was just like because it's Austin, it takes forever to get permits and all that shit, and I remember tasting with Chris Furtado from High West by flashlight for single barrels, in the bar. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I was like, I'm only going to taste them here. I remember tasting with Heather from Beam, single barrels, like on a plank of wood. Sure. That was probably gross. And we're just like, by flashlight, which one did we pick? Which one did we pick? Like, but I need these ready to go, like almost right when we open. Yeah. And it was just like, it was really, I remember, coming in, going to the door after we got the place and started demo. I was like, man, this is going to go really quick. And it stayed like that for a month. And then, it would just be like bursts of like, everything's done and we're waiting on something else.
Hurry up and wait, right?
Yeah. Hurry up.
That's what happens when you price shop.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, I remember the last 2 weeks before we opened, I mean, we had a complete bar. We weren't able to stock any liquor. So we had no beer or liquor to drink, so we're just kind of hanging out at like this. Every day we just kind of hang out and be like, all right, so we're still waiting on this permit. And we just play pinball for like an hour and a half.
Every day.
And just like, every day we're just flushing money down the drain and just be like, well,
And we got investors, like
dude.
They're expecting to be paid back in 2 years, and we're like, we're not even open yet.
It's been 6 months in. We're not open. Sorry.
Suckers. No, they're not. Obviously, I know a few of the investors, and they're very, very happy. About
So it's worked out overall.
Right?
But the tension was high in those months or two.
Dude, I can't imagine. And yet still, you have this insight, this piece of the strategy for people coming in to have your own single barrels. You were working on this stuff way before. Yeah, so what's the thinking behind that? I love this. It's actually... I would almost say that you guys started that trend. There'd been a few barrels out in the market, but not as many.
You go like 13 single barrels?
Yeah, it's insane, man.
Yeah, I mean, and I just picked out like 4 or 5 more new ones. I kind of had this vision for a bar and just kind of hanging out in Kentucky where, you know what I mean? Like, you're in bourbon country, right? And you go to the Silver Dollar or, some other bars around town and they have their own single barrels. But not only did they have that, they had multiple years of their single barrels. Yeah. And they would just hold on to it. And then, in Kentucky, there's a couple bars that have bottle shops. Yeah. Like you could buy their single barrels and take away. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, we're right next door to a liquor store, J&J. So I go in there, I meet Billy from J&J, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do this crazy single barrel, program. Would you be cool if, like, just putting up a shelf of our single barrels? Yeah. So if somebody tastes it, we're like, oh, yeah, it's for sale next door at J&J.
Perfect.
They can leave, boom, bottle shop, done, gone. I mean, it's cool. It helps me go through the single barrels quicker.
Yeah.
It's that hook. Everybody's looking for a story or a hook, and that's what it is. And it's just like, we're going to be a whiskey bar. If we're going to be a whiskey bar, let's go all in. You know what I mean? Let's do 13 single barrels. Let's do the first Copper and Kings brandy barrel ever made.
Lovely barrel.
Yeah, and it's not the most popular by far.
Well, people don't know brandy, right?
Yeah, people don't love brandy. I love brandy. I mean, it's like, so good. We'll have that, and it's just like, let's do something cool with whiskey. I mean, we all know. And then I got really kind of dumb. not really, but I guess in
Wait, you
long
made
run,
a mistake?
No, I didn't make a mistake.
Okay,
I
I
got
think
this.
so.
I like about 3-4 months in, I got this hard line, and I was like, all the single barrels. I don't care what it costs us. $6 an ounce, $11 for 2 ounces. And it was like kind of cool at first, but now like we got the Maker's Mark, you got the Maker's Private Selected, and that's like $55 a bottle, $60 a bottle for us to buy.
Yeah.
But I'm like, fuck it. Who cares? It'll bring somebody in. We got Whistle Pig in, $6 an ounce, $11.
Oh, dude.
And a Whistle Pig private barrel, like that's not cheap. Like
Probably north of $100, right?
Yeah, I mean, we buy it for probably 65, 70. You know what I mean? But like to buy it in a store, like $89.99.
So all right. So here's an interesting thing: the Beatles broke up because of creative differences, right? John and Paul were arguing all the time. I don't know who's which, and I don't care. But Brandon, like,
I'm definitely Paul.
the heart
talented one.
I would never marry Yoko. That's crazy.
What about Naked Films? That might be a little more enticing. But Brandon, like, knowing this is Tober's vision, that potentially you're going to have the best deal in town. You're going to have unique stuff that no one else can get.
Oh, yeah. I don't even get involved in that shit.
But do you feel like you have to support it, I guess, even if it's kind of...
I mean, we've definitely had some... I don't know if personally, we've never had any bumps in the road on, like, decision-making, or it's always been his show. But they're definitely, when the employees used to be able to drink, there was some tensions were high then. Nobody knew how to handle their booze correctly. But they don't drink anymore. That was about the only time.
I mean,
besides
the
that,
first
we've never
3-4
had...
months, it was definitely bumps. It was just kind of like me, like, I got this. Don't worry, it's gonna take a minute. We need to cultivate regulars.
Sure.
I mean, because it didn't really like. I mean, like to not even be like a wine. We were always successful, but to degrees of success.
Right.
I mean, I still remember the day it turned the corner, and that was when Esquire named us one of the best bars in America.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I got that news while I was in Kentucky.
Sure.
At the Silver Dollar at Larry's place, and I was just like, I texted him, and I was like, "This is game time now. This
full
is
fucking circle, man.
This is the list of lists.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, what I consider the list of lists.
It was tough for my brother and I because we've built a family restaurant, and now we've moved into a neighborhood bar where our family is. Most of them are recovering alcoholics. And we're like watching everybody just get plastered every night. The staff is getting plastered. And I was like, man, this is gonna fuck up Via's name, basically. The people think of Via one way and they're coming here, but we've quickly it just became Travis Tober's show.
Yeah.
It's not Via 313's bar, it's his bar.
And you're fine, like no egotism, no conflict for you. And
no, this
Travis
is the best thing I've ever done. I mean, it's the most fun I've ever had.
Yeah.
I mean, Via's hard because it gets so overshot. Like, it's the best pizza in the world.
Right,
we don't say that.
No,
you
don't need to. Yeah.
But if it's oversold to you and you go try it, the expectations are so high.
Sure.
Whereas this is just like, I always tell the same stories. Like, somebody painted a huge dick on the back of the bathroom door, and it was back there for 6 months. And then when somebody painted over it, the people were mad that we painted over it. I'm like, man, at Via, it would have been like 10 minutes. We would have been, scrambling around trying to find paint.
It was a dick with a gun fighting a son.
Yeah.
So like, it was
I'm kind of interested.
Just a dick.
Yeah,
it was like a dick with a gun fighting a son.
It was awesome.
And I remember posting on like Instagram or Facebook. I was like, the hard decisions a bar owner has to make. After 6 months, I'm going to paint this over.
Artistic freedom,
like,
man.
No!
Well,
it
was so much easier though. Like that when that's your biggest struggle is painting over it. Not like how many kids just look at this dick and now I know whose parents are upset about it. And again, Via gets kind of. We've moved into I don't want to say McDonald's territory, but it's very much stamp and repeat. And Nickel City is just so much more. Like, we had the Delray Cafe outside, and it's, we got the McRib sandwich.
Del Rib.
You have a Del Rib right now?
Yeah, we
the
dropped
Del
the
Rib.
Del Rib last week.
What the
It's
fuck?
like the McRib, but better. Also 1 cent cheaper.
Oh,
there's nothing better than somebody going like, dude, that's such garbage. And then I was buying for people last night and they're like, all right, that's really good.
They don't want to like the McRib,
Yeah.
but they certainly don't want to like a high quality McRib.
No, this isn't high quality. This is
Del Rib,
garbage.
dude.
Is it pressed meat?
Yeah, it's garbage.
Oh,
It's got the
full
fake
pressed
bones
meat.
pressed into it.
That sounds fucking brilliant.
With sweet baby rays,
Yeah.
onions, pickles,
onions, hot
and a
dog bun.
hot dog bun, dude.
Dude, that's amazing. So we're just
Nostalgia.
over a year. July 2017 is when you guys opened. Is that right?
Yeah.
So the doors open. how are you guys feeling? What's the energy like for you as
You
you
know,
finally open it?
I tell this story too, and it's just like, what everybody has this panic. It's like that middle school like panic. Like, what if I throw a party and nobody shows up?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
am I not?
yeah.
I thought I was cooler than I was. And that's how we were for 4 months building this fucking bar. I'm like, well, it's going to fail. Well, we're going to fail. And I remember kind of looking at like the night before we opened, like we're stocked, bartenders are stocking stuff. And we turned down the lights and we turned up the music and we got exactly where we're at. And I look at Brandon, I was like,
This is it.
This is it. We're going to be fucking
This
busy.
is it, dude.
We're going to be fucking
Oh,
busy.
It is
man.
the warmest bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, it was just like, this is it. Like, there was, at that point in time, I mean, like, I had a couple struggles the first couple of months, like, just like, of like pressure
Yeah.
and like nervousness. But like, I think at that point in time, I was like, we got a head on our hands. It was just like,
How, like, I sit in that bar and I feel welcome, which is amazing.
Mhm.
I feel I'm never judged. I feel like the conversation to explore is always there, which is a really nice thing. But really, is there a way to articulate why it's such a great bar? Is it because
it's everybody. Everybody's there. There's no class there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And this is what kind of drew me to Austin originally, like 8-9 years ago. I remember going into I think it was Malaga where Peche is now, and I was like sitting there. I was like, "There's a guy in a suit talking to a guy in a mohawk next to a sorority sister," and they're all talking, they're all having. And then at some point in time in the last like 5 or 8 years,
And the guy with the mohawk's a millionaire. But,
It's Tim Armstrong from Rancid, isn't it? Oh, come on.
Again, that, like, city's crazy like that.
almost a millionaire. You know what I mean? So it's just like, these guys are all, everybody's all talking. And then like somewhere in the last like 4 or 5 years, like Austin got placed in a corner. And it was just like, oh, you belong in E6, you belong in West 6, you belong in 36,
Yeah.
you belong in Warehouse. And I was just like, what the fuck? That's not what it's about. And it's just like, and this really reaffirmed what, what I think we created is that we have Kurt Carrillo in from Sweet Liberty, and he's like helping us out during the miracle thing.
Nice.
And he's just like, this is the craziest crowd I ever seen. That guy's 85 years old, and that girl over there is like some, like, hey, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just like, and it's just like, but then we also got the hipster kids down there and the punk rockers over there and the motorcycle guys over there. And I was just like, that's what it's about,
Dude.
man. It's a melting pot.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it special, is that you never know who you're going to run into, and you always know you're going to run into somebody.
Yeah, somebody
You know?
cool. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, even I don't care how
Yeah.
pedantic the word cool is, but the fact that, again, going back to not feeling judged, you can get a beer, you can get a burger, you can get some fries, fucking tater tots, or if you really want, you can get a barrel select glass of whiskey. It's highbrow, lowbrow, midbrow, and everything in between.
I had dinner a couple nights ago at Jeffrey's, and it's probably the nicest nicest restaurant we have in town. I think maybe besides Uchi or something. But service is on point, food's on point, and they're just blasting Junior Brown and all this old country. And it's like, and I feel like Nickel City is that. It's like, it's the cocktails, cheap beer, cheap food. Cocktails made perfectly and an affordable price.
Yeah.
Punk music, or it doesn't matter what time you
Country
come in.
Day,
Country music,
Funk and soul.
right? It's just, I think it's a good mind
Deep
funk.
cuts.
You're
Yeah.
like, what are they doing here? Because it's getting you from every angle.
And the timing is sometimes so key, and you never really know that when you release. You talk about you got a hit on your hands, right?
Mm.
Some stuff's before its time, some stuff's after its time, but somehow this launched at exactly the time that Austin needed it.
I think so.
Yeah, honestly, like, that's it, like a lot of things in my career. I've always said I'm really lucky a lot of times, and I think it was just at that time where it was just like time after these expensive restaurants of $14 cocktails and
Yeah.
$15 deviled egg and whatever, and it just came to us like, you can come in and have a burger, fries, a beer, and a shot of whiskey for legitimately like $10.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like an every man, every girl, everybody's bar. And it was just like, I never expected to get the neighborhood crowd that we did. Like, I didn't expect to be busy until like 9 or 10 o'clock. But like,
Yeah.
shit, man, we got a dinner rush now.
Dude.
We got that.
The Monday crowd, the Tuesday crowd. We have people that just, they know what night, they know Monday night is wing night, and they know Wednesday night.
Programming.
Dude.
man.
Right.
And almost a year and a half later, the kinds of accolades you guys have got. One of the things I admire most, beyond just this kind of strange organic thing you're able to just have, this electricity that's there, that is just because everybody's there and everybody's getting along and it's super acceptable. Everybody, again, it's that process of not being judged, which I think it makes it such a great place. One of the things I truly admire is you did what you're passionate about, you trusted each other, and you didn't hire a fucking PR company.
I was going to say PR.
Thank you, Tober. I fucking hate
PR,
that shit.
Man, dude. I got PR people hunting me every day. I was like, listen, this PR company calls me. Was like, hey, so we want to work with you. I was like, here's the deal. In the last year, I got Esquire's Best Bar in America. I got the cover of Nightclub Bar Trade Show. Or Nightclub Bar magazine. I got top 10 nod at Tales of the Cocktail, clean sweep all the local awards. What are you going to do for me? How about this? How about I let you work for me and you can use us as a reference and say you got us all these awards and you do free shit. Fuck off.
It's true.
Can you guys pour some more wild turkey so I can toast you on that?
I was going to ask you if I could.
Oh, of course. I mean, you know what, man? There's no finer whiskey to have this conversation over. The Russell family has been so supportive of you guys and everything.
I mean, we've had all three Russells. We've had all three Russells in the bar. Bruce is a regular. Eddie's been in there. I think I've had 4 or 5 single barrels from them now. Honestly, my favorite.
Cute.
Honestly, like my favorite, American whiskey.
Short arms, T-Rex arms. They've told me. Sorry.
So yeah. I mean, this PR. Yeah, it is. PR's for lazy people. Man.
Is it smoke and mirrors?
I honestly think it a little
so.
bit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, and I'm like, I'm not gonna like. I mean. Dude, Garden and Gun just called us.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I took the answer. I was just like, that's it. I don't need a PR company. Garden and Gun, literally, they'll find you if you make a name.
Of course.
But
and you know what? Minor Threat never paid for PR.
No.
Yeah, that's right.
Or Via.
Fucking
Via's
right.
never had PR either.
So
take that money and put it towards your guest.
Or
you know
your
what
staff, too.
Yeah, put it towards your staff. Put it towards your guests.
I'd rather pay a cook
bring
more money
bring those
for
price
us.
points down. You know what I mean? Like, if you're paying $5,000 for PR, for what? For an eater list?
they can't return an ROI on that stuff,
There's no
dude. There's no way to even justify it.
No.
The Delray Cafe, the particular treats that you get are fucking delicious.
It's a delicacy.
It is a delicacy. And we will not talk about the ranch debacle. I just want that to be something that people can think of offline. They can fucking argue with Tober about it. But why, it seems like from a financial perspective and an ease of execution kind of effort, why did Via not put a spot in there?
We have a restaurant 6 blocks away from there.
Ah, right.
And this has been a goal of mine since we opened Via to do this, like, drinking culture is different in Detroit and Buffalo than it is in Austin. Like, for me, a night out drinking would be party until 2, go to the Coney Island till 4, and then go to a buddy's house and keep going. And here, everybody's like fucking wrapping up by 2 a.m. They're ready to go to bed. So it never has worked like I'd hoped. I was hoping it would kind of morph into this 24-hour diner thing.
Yeah.
But we just don't have that 24-hour culture. But to me, it was perfect. Like, this Buffalo bar with Detroit food, Buffalo food, because we have the best wings in town.
Yeah.
Sure.
And the price points are just, they just, again, it's a mind fuck. Like, you're eating this burger, and I hope you think
$3.
it's like $268 or $283. I don't even know what the price is.
$286.
$286. Changes all the time.
Sure.
It's like the stock market.
Market price.
Yeah. That's what we should do on the next menu. But it was...
Oh, dude, we're stealing that. We got to come up with something like coconut shrimp.
Yeah.
Market price.
We'll have to give you a little
Oh,
nod.
man. Dude,
That'd be amazing.
Oh, why did we not think that?
But, we were talking about doing like a 12-course chef tasting where you get like one French fry on a plate, like plated perfectly. And it's a little bit of a poke at everything, just like I think Nickel City is a little bit of a poke at everything that annoys you about what's going on is that is Delray Cafe, but the opposite. I mean,
did you have any input on what kinds of food and things that we're going to carry?
Yeah, I mean that's our menu. It was he wanted to have wings.
I had to have wings. If being from Buffalo,
Sure, yeah.
if I didn't have wings, I would have been like a laughing stock.
Yeah,
in my hometown. So.
Wings wasn't on my radar. I just wanted. There's places back home that they do the same burgers and coney dogs. That was all I give a shit about.
Yeah.
And the crinkle cut fries.
Oh yeah, taters tatsu, man.
That was him.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Is that a Buffalo thing?
Yeah, I mean not really. I was just like, dude, let's tater tots.
I'm
like,
not a
fuck it, we
tater
got the
tot guy.
No,
myself.
I still like doing. I still order the fries, but I was just like tater tots. It's just like everything we add on kind of as like a joke.
Yeah.
Becomes like we just added pot stickers and everybody's.
Are you kidding
Yeah,
me?
we added pot stickers.
They're just deep fried pot stickers that are frozen garbage, and people are like, "These are really good."
We literally the sauces. I call it a Hawaiian tiki sauce, and it's soy sauce and sriracha 50-50 blend.
Oh man!
And people are just like, "These are great." I'm just like, "What? Okay, fuck it." I give up.
Pizza logs from
Buffalo. We
No
ordered
way.
from Buffalo.
So I mean, it's definitely a collaboration, but it just started as this like Detroit diner. It
Yeah.
would have coney dogs and burgers and fries, and that's it.
Not just. It's kind of come like guilty pleasure. It's kind of.
Yeah, now it's just become a joke. Like we will eventually launch a Juicy Lucy Minnesota style burger.
No
I'm
way.
still waiting on that. He said he had that recipe done 2 months ago.
I do, but I don't want to. The McRib was what it was all about.
Yeah,
Del Rib.
the Del Rib. That was good.
Del Rib, we don't want to get sued.
McRib.
The Shinnin.
Sue me.
Is that what it is? The Shinnin. So not taking yourself seriously is a really great theme about Nickel City, and paying homage to things that you like that are pop culture driven.
Yeah.
And this holiday season, and then back to Halloween, you guys got a shit ton of press. I mean, Simpsons is my favorite show of all time,
I mean,
and
everybody knows it on the planet.
yeah, dude,
Right.
there is no more iconic comedy show.
No.
Seinfeld, you could say nope. Simpsons,
No.
Globally,
25, 30 seasons ago. No, it's got to be 25, 28
Yeah.
seasons, right?
Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
south of 30
Some
seasons.
of the most smartest writing in TV history.
Predicting history.
Yeah,
Predicting history, yeah. That's
Oh my
crazy.
god, it's fucking insane. But for me, that really resonates, and the fact that you don't take yourself so seriously, and you're like, no, we're gonna have some fun. And again, the accolades pop in.
I mean,
You converted Nickel City to Moe's Tavern. For God's
Crazy.
sakes.
well, I got Brandon Benitez, who was working for us for a short time.
Yeah.
You know, he came to me and he's like, "Hey, I'm just looking for some part-time work." And he's like, "I'm not going to be here, for a long time. I'm going to be here for a good time."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yeah, no, dude." I go, Brandon Benitez is one of those bartenders, high fives, handshakes all day long. I was
Yeah.
like, "Let's just get you in. Let's rush you up and you just work day shifts, pick up shifts." And he comes to me one day and he's just like, "Dude," he's like, "do you ever notice how much this looks like Moe's Tavern?" And I was just like, I mean, kinda, but there's this, like, we give out these postcards with every check, and the postcard, how it's angled and how Arts and Rec made it,
Yeah.
like that. There's a pic on Google Images that it looks exactly like Moe's. I'm like, holy shit! And then I was just kind of like, all right. And we were at a financial meeting. I was like, I'm gonna turn this place into Moe's Tavern for Halloween and dress up the bar. And then our partner Craig's like, I got a guy that can do that. And I was just like, seriously?
What?
He came to the bar, and I was just like, he was like, let's do it. And I was just like, and then I actually I was in New York. I talked to Greg Boehm from Cocktail King.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, what are my chances of getting a cease and desist? He's like, launch it on a Friday. You go through the weekend. If you get big enough, you won't get a cease and desist.
Perfect.
And I was like, thanks, Greg. So we changed it from Wednesday to Friday. And like what we wanted to do was just do it overnight. Like,
Yeah.
Nickel City, at Nickel City, we are always open up at 2 p.m., maybe sooner or earlier every day. So if we want to do something, we do it overnight. So what we did was we met there all at 6, 7 a.m. with the set guy, and we did the sign, we did the window wrap, and that was the perfect. And we got our designers, we redid a whole menu.
Yeah.
We redid the postcard to look like
Dude.
Moe's. And it was just like subtle little things. Like we had the pennants over the bar. We had a love tester in there. And it was just like, let's just have fun. I made all the bartenders wear smocks and white sleeve shirts, and everybody dressed like Moe. And we opened Friday, and it was just like, people just like driving by and doing selfies. And it was just like, this is going to be kind of cool, man. Like we'll probably get like, like I tipped off Eater like the night before. I was like, hey, come on, take pictures. It's like, we'll get like some cool press out of it. And then like that night it hit like the number one like shared thing on Reddit. And I didn't know what Reddit is. I was like, dude, this is hot on Reddit. It was like 100.
There was a kid with cancer that was supposed to die the day before and lived, and we were above it.
Oh my god!
Like that is insane. That's way more important.
Well,
than a bar.
This costs money, right? So Brandon, like, how do you feel? Is it like, nope, this is a project worth pursuing for the PR?
Oh,
just
yeah.
like, let's have fun, or what?
No, it's just stay out of the way. I just stay out of the way.
So we just did it, and it was just like, it went bonkers. Like Friday night was busy, Saturday, Sunday, but then it was just like Wednesday night. There was a line like to the hotel next
Oh my
to us.
god,
It was insane.
amazing, man.
It was the most insane thing. Every second, like the phone's ringing with prank calls. I think it was Monday morning.
I forgot about that.
It was Monday morning. My phone rings. I'm like, hello, like, hey, this is Fox News. I'm like, oh, the local Fox News. They're like, no, like we're in New York. I was like, oh wow, okay. And then I was like, all right. And then next CNN, I'm like, well, Fox and CNN are getting along finally. And then like my friend was like in like Belgium, and he saw like Nickel City on like in like their language.
I think it was John Gerber that told me he's seen it in Turkey or somebody's seen it in Turkey.
Crazy.
But was Amanda there?
What's that?
Was Amanda there?
Amanda Carter? Or?
No, Amanda Huggin Kiss.
Sorry. Right in that shit. God damn it.
He had me too. I don't know.
I mean, again, huge Simpsons fan.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I mean, it was wild, man. Like I actually, for like 2 weeks after that, I didn't wear a Nickel City hat because I got sick of people asking me about the Simpsons shit.
Oh, man.
That's huge.
Well, then transitioning into Christmas, you guys are doing stuff for the holidays as well, yeah?
Yeah, we got the Sippin' Santa thing going out with Miracle. Like I said, I'm a good friend with Greg. And I've been to Lost Lake for theirs. I've been to Boilermaker for theirs. Actually, the first Miracle, like the technical one I was at was Roosevelt. I only went to the beach bums, and because I'm like a tiki nerd, I still like want to open a tiki bar. But once the ramen Tatsuya guys said, I was like, damn it, I can't open up here. There's only room for one tiki bar here, and those guys didn't do it right. So, I've always been a fan, and I talked to Greg, and we were talking in another location, and I was like, I want to do Miracle up there, and he's like, you want to do a Sippin' Santa in Austin? I was like, yes. And this is how he sold me. He goes, listen, it's not as profitable, it's way more harder, and you're not going to get all the love. And it's not, he's like, do you want in? I was like, yeah, I'm in. He's like,
it's plenty profitable. It's been great. And it's a holiday week,
man.
It's been good.
So,
already.
but he talked to me. I was at the Cocktail Kingdom office. I was like, I'm in. Let's sign it up. Let's do it. I kind of, hounded him a little bit. And it's been great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has been great. It's going on right now, and we're here doing an interview, and I'm not even worried about it. Like,
that's one thing that I think. So tell me what you guys think. So people that are truly successful, even if they don't deem themselves that way, but they've got businesses, they've got employees, all of this, they are the most assertive, responsive, and really, really down-to-earth folks. And I think that's actually a sign of a characteristic of success. You guys feel that kind of way that you're...
It just depends on what you're after. I know people back home that own pizza shops that have been there for 35 years that he still works 50 hours a week in the shop, and that... If that's his line of success, and he can provide for his family, and he's not working for someone else, and he won't answer his phone because he's busy every night working on the line. But if that's success to him, then great. But I also have friend Tony Gimignani, who's got 12 restaurants, probably doing 30-40 million a year, and all over Vegas and all over California. And if you called him right now, he'd answer his phone, and it doesn't matter what's going on. He'll come down and do an interview if you want. And it's just a matter of what you're after, how hard you want to work.
Well, I got to commend you both, like being able to accommodate my schedule and all of this, and like to actually sit. It's always good to sit fucking wild turkey.
Yeah.
But the fact, like, you've got a busy ass bar that's out there, and the fact that it's such a well-oiled machine, you can walk away from it or step away from it, I think is really a true testament to...
can't even believe how smooth the last, we've done Miracle now. This is like our 5th day. And it's just like, I wouldn't say no hiccups, but like close to no hiccups.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like prep. Let's go. People coming in an hour early and just like wanting to succeed. Like I think they learned, we were pretty successful, and it was a little stressful, a little bit maybe more during Moe's. But I think they got it. Like, this is how Miracle's going to be, so let's get it ready. We're sipping Santa.
Yeah.
And, it's prep heavy. And it's like I said, we had a guest bartender last night. He's like, this is the easiest bar ever. And he's like, you guys are just set up ready to go. I'm like, let's pump it out, man. Let's pump it out. Let's do it. Let's have fun.
And it feels seamless every time you're in there. I think that's really, really...
I hope so, man. I mean, it's it's the Wizard of Oz. It's like, don't look at the man behind the curtain, dude. Do not look behind the cash-only bar. It's a disaster back there until we make it look nice.
I always say we don't know what to do, but we know what not to do, and that pisses people off.
See, knowing what you like and knowing what you don't like, those are really, really important distinctions. So you would think, you're about a year and a half in, things are going well, getting plenty of press, things will be just fine. There's no need to open a second fucking location, but I couldn't be further from the truth. Yeah,
I mean, I think we're...
Is it a secret? I noticed you said it was
it's kind
secret.
of like it's the worst kept secret,
Well, can we make it the worser kept secret.
Can we say,
by
how about Dallas, Fort Worth, Plano area? That way you can.
I mean, fuck it. We're coming to Fort Worth, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's the only way to go.
yeah,
Yeah.
we're going to. I mean, we both visited that market a few times. We're 99% done with the deal. I would say, yeah, we're coming to Fort Worth, and like I really believe in that market. I mean, you're talking like the third or fourth largest metropolitan area in the United States.
Yeah. Sensible people, but it's like they're
Blue
sensible
collar,
folks.
blue collar,
Totally, they want to go
Yeah.
get a good
And
drink,
it's
a good
college
value.
town too.
college
Yeah,
town,
absolutely.
blue
You know.
collar, medical industry, everything we're looking for, man. You know what I mean? Cheaper rent, no
And we're-
gate fee.
You know,
Right.
the thing too is like for the food side of things, which is not what he's super worried about. But if we can go there and be the best wings in Fort Worth, the best burger in Fort Worth, the best Coney dog.
Yeah.
I mean that's the goal, because things in Austin kind of get washed
Sure.
with the food scene. I mean, it's
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying that there's like less competition out there, because there's some really great bars out there, but like, you know what I mean? Like Dallas Fort Worth is huge, and it's on the map, but it's just like hasn't gotten the attention it deserves. You know what I mean? Like, to me, like it's 40 minutes from Dallas, and everybody around there, everybody drinks and eats. That's
Dude,
what
there's an
brings everybody-
appetite, no pun intended, for something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
we're hoping that it'll be something that Fort Worth can hang their hat on. Something that Dallas doesn't have, maybe,
Yeah.
or something like.
oh, it's smart.
I mean, I literally had somebody go to me like, "I'm so proud to say that Nickel City's coming to Fort Worth and not Dallas."
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a smarter move. You're going to get
Yeah.
way more dedicated clientele, I think.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Fort Worth.
and a little bit less inexpensive. Like I said, more blue collar. Like Plano's like the millionaire capital of the world. Like I had, somebody's like, "Don't go to Plano." Like it looks,
man.
it's like dangles a carrot, but it's just like too uppity. And
Yeah.
we just like to get down and dirty and drink whiskey and beers. You know what I mean? So I think it'll be, I think it's a good move. It's
Yeah.
a good expansion move. Like semi close. You know
What
I mean?
about the replication of the aesthetic? So it would be in Nickel City. Are you trying to ultimately not templatize this, because they'll have their nuances, but is that
Yeah,
ultimately
this
the
this
goal?
space is twice as big.
Oh wow.
So that we're gonna lose. The hardest thing I think for all of us will be to replicate that warmth that you have at Nickel City in a bigger space. We'll see though. We haven't been able to get in the space.
Yeah,
nearly
well, I mean,
enough.
once we get in there, so the cash only is going to be rebranded.
Nice.
What I think, who knows, it could change. It's going to be an actual functioning bar, alcove style, where it only serves agave. So,
Oh.
yeah, we're only going to serve
Huge.
tequila and agave, and it's going to serve three things: mezcal, tequila, and Tecate. And that's it. And that's it. Like, that's the only three things you can get back there.
Oh man, that's brilliant.
And you can get it in a Tommy's margarita or neat or chilled.
Incredible.
That's it. You
Yeah.
know. And basically, what I want to do is kind of have like an encompassing room, and just like somebody like shelves around with tequila and mezcal with price tags hanging out, and somebody just like, "Oh, what's that?" Like, go grab it, and they bring it to
Yeah.
you.
Oh, that's
It's like once
incredible.
they grab that bottle, you know what I mean? They're part of the experience. And just
Absolutely.
kind of then they pour it for you and you talk about it, and
Man, that's
you know,
incredible.
any Fort Worth agave nerds that want to work at the bar, hit me up right now. We're looking for one. But, to me, like that, I think, if we do another one after this, like kind of rebrand the cash only bar as it's like maybe do a tiki bar out of
Dude.
like a bar inside a bar.
There's
Which I've always wanted to do.
any time frame for when you would like to open?
Tomorrow. No.
I think Brandon was laughing at my question.
I mean, definitely, I would say third quarter.
Yeah.
Third quarter next year.
Third
Yeah.
quarter next
Nice.
year.
You guys
know
go
what I mean?
calendar year? Is that your quarters, or do you financial year? This is not interesting stuff, but
We do, what do we do? We do calendar year, right? Third quarter?
Yeah.
yeah.
We do third quarter. We do pay period or
So-
periods.
It'll
Sometime
be
this fall?
I would say. Yeah, I'd say.
No.
Hopefully, by
summer.
this
I mean.
time by
Summer,
next year
summer.
would be the
yeah,
goal.
yeah. This time next year we should be
Yeah.
more than a few months into it.
Yeah. Are you gonna head up there?
Yeah, I'll be up there for a little while. Actually, I brought a buddy down. A kind of a guy that's really passionate about bartending and whatnot. Dan Brennan. He was running a bar in Rochester, so he knows the Buffalo theme, like
Yeah.
the kind of thing. And actually, I met him at Camp Run Amok, a whiskey camp.
Nice.
And, I was just kind of like, man, I think we're opening up a place in Fort Worth. If you ever want to come on down and kind of like be the bar manager. And he just called me up one day. He's like, yeah, I think I want to do that. And he just packed up his bags, broke up with his girlfriend, came on down, and he's working at Nickel City right now. And he's just like
No
fitting
way.
right in. Yeah, I mean, he's like our like lead or like one of our shift supervisors.
That's
And he's
incredible.
just learning our culture and learning everything. And after the insanity of December,
Yeah.
we'll start deep diving into numbers and all this stuff and programming. And he's going to move up there. And then he's allowed one more import. And then after that, it's all Fort Worth people.
That's incredible. Man.
And, so I think, like that's kind of like, kind of bring somebody down if we do it again the same different way. Like,
Sure.
expand from within. I got a, bartender, we call him Turtle. He's been with me for 5 years now. He started with me at Vox Table when he was
Damn,
19 as a food runner. And he's like our head barman or like a bar manager and like one of my most trusted employees.
It's incredible.
He's going to, hopefully he'll open up Nickel City with us one day and, kind of like spreading the wealth and getting everybody out there.
Brandon, I don't know if you know this. So one of the things I've talked to plenty of the folks that work at Nickel City. And one of the things that, because maybe some people listening might say, well, I want to open a bar. Maybe I don't have experience, but how do I foster a good culture? And one of the things that all of your staff say, at least like the 3 or 4 that I've talked about this particular issue, they say, you know what? He gives us the freedom to do the things we're good at and without standing in our way. So if I like bookkeeping, fine, go towards that. If I like marketing, fine, it's a strength. You follow your passion. And you manage like a great coach to allow your folks to pursue those things that potentially just as a bar back or just as a bartender they wouldn't be able to do. Is this something, I guess, that you realize like this is the culture you're fostering and perhaps one of the reasons it's such a successful place?
I mean, like my whole thing is like, like aces in places. Like if you really, really, really want to do that, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't have time
Dude,
for that. I want to
totally.
open up 5 more Nickel Cities. So do that. Let me give you that. Let me give you the systems and let me nudge you. Text me when you have a problem, but take it, ownership.
Dude,
You know what I mean?
I'm not passionate what I'm not passionate about, so let me not fake it. I don't like bookkeeping. Do you like bookkeeping, Brandon?
Not really.
Do you
I like the P&L side of things.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to put the numbers in every
Dude,
day to
exactly.
get my
Yeah,
P&L.
I like the programming and stuff like that. Like we got, Amanda Cardo's like kind of taking like, I guess creative director kind of on a lot of cocktails and a lot of things she'll give to me and I'll like tweak this, tweak that, tweak this. Ty's handling he's handling like hours and like W2s and W4s shit I suck at.
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm
But knowing what you're not good at, that's a really that's a talent.
Yeah.
I'm good at like hyping stuff up and being like fun and like being a hype man, but like get me to like get in, like our bookkeeper is so much happier now at Ty's doing the payroll because it gets done like on Monday every day. Usually it'd be me like in an airplane trying to figure out stuff, but like like just give your people freedom. You know what I mean? And that like trust. You hired them for a reason, right?
For sure.
Like I don't have to sit and bust balls like did this get done every once in a while. Like we have a once a month meeting. I'm like, hey, do this better, do this better, do this better.
Yeah.
I think we had that meeting about Sip and Santa, and I was like, it's get ready for war, get your asses in gear. I need a little hustle.
Sure.
Like
Patent style.
Yeah, we do. Like our weekly word, our weekly statement is aggressive bussing this week. So every time like I see like a bar back or anybody, what's the word of the week? Aggressive bussing. And they go out there and just like grab stuff, and it's it's getting everybody having fun.
It's amazing. So I've got 2 questions left for you guys. We've been sipping through some amazing bourbon. You've been regaling with me with the tales of you guys meeting and being both very surly at times, but connecting, right? So people want to open bars. They want to open bars in Austin. Do you have any? Because initially the first thing everybody says is like, "Don't fucking do it."
No, you should do it. Do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we're nobodies. Fucking do whatever the fuck you want.
Love it.
Listen, I mean, that's what makes Austin great. Is it's such a melting pot. Well, not really. It's not a melting pot.
Not
Never mind.
not
It's not
anymore.
diverse at all. But it is. But it is like kind of like that hip fucking culture like that. Like you can do something cool and just like, oh, that's fucking so Austin. You know what I mean, man? Like I think we need more diversity. I think we need more people trying like bring in like we opened up the bar that me and him grew up in. The bar that our grandparents drank in, and we opened it up and we accidentally opened up the most Austin bar ever. You know what I mean? Like, just, think about that. Like, bring something new to it. Don't stamp and repeat these, a lot of these, high-end, like, was it 3 years ago? Like, the small plates, like, get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, do something. Get the fuck out of here. Do something. Bring something cool. You know what I mean? Like, go to Houston. Like, the bar scene's so awesome. Like, go to Poison Girl.
Yeah.
Like, see, like, you know what I mean? Like I talked to Bobby and like Anvil, like that is the best cocktail bar in the world, bar none. I don't give a shit what anybody says. Like as far as like service, drinks, vibe, everything. Anvil's tops, but open up what you want and just kind of take that attitude, like build it and they will come.
Yeah, I love
hopefully.
that.
Yeah, do it.
Fucking do it. You
I don't know.
Do it, or you know what I mean, or like work at another bar for us. Just exactly take a risk.
Yeah. All right. So last question. We've been sipping whiskey. Whiskey is arterial to the aesthetic of Nickel City too. So Brandon, you're at Nickel City. It's just you, and you can have anybody that's past or alive, actor, fucking musician that sits in your bar, drinking with you at that bar. Who would you like to sit and have a dram with?
I'm gonna be cheesy because the first thing that came to mind was my mom, because she died 9 years ago, worrying about if I was ever gonna get a job or get my life together.
Oh man!
So I hate to take the cheesy road, but
it's not, man, because you can sit there and sip with her and say, "No, this all worked out, Mom. Don't worry."
Yeah, I'd like to have a glass of Crown with her, and that was her drink of choice, and just sit and enjoy it with her.
I think that's brilliant.
Yeah,
it's very, very connected.
I'm gonna cry, but
Man, don't cry, dude.
It makes me want now. What's Tober gonna say?
Fine.
Go ahead, follow that up.
Jeez, Han Solo,
Robert De Niro.
I mean, honestly, dude. I mean, like anybody that just comes in and wide-eyed, like, dude. I say this about Nickel City. And, there's a few bars in the world that I've been to that like kind of suck you in and just like make it like hug you.
Yeah.
And I think Nickel City is one of those. Fuck, man. It's crazy, man. Like we've had so many people come through that I love seeing. Like last night, I saw a couple of people that were just in town from out of town. I mean, dude, a week and a half before he died, Dave Pickerel was in the bar.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it's just like sipping whistle pig with me, and it was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of you." You know what I mean? Like there's nobody. I mean, I've drank with a ton of people there. I mean, I don't even know, man. Like who? I don't know. Like, who's going to spend the most money?
Ooh, there you go.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh my God, that's
That'd be
brilliant.
Cool. No, honestly,
you think he would be boring though?
No,
he would just mimic you.
Honestly, Adrian Granero was at the bar 2 days ago. I got text messages. I would say, I would like to have a drink, like sit down, honestly, like have a drink ever if he was in town, or. That is hard.
The Rock, I think he'd be fun to party with.
Yeah, for sure.
The Rock would be good.
I feel like he's a good time.
Yeah, Don Julio guy from what I've seen in Ballers.
Is he?
Yeah, Ballers. He always drinking tequila.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I've been
I
on
like
Ballers kick too, man. I don't know, dude. I just love anybody that's excited about the bar. Yeah. Honestly, like really, there isn't. I love seeing you in the bar. I love seeing anybody in the bar. Just like it's a. No, like Adrian Ganero's in the bar the other day. Nobody gave a shit. That's what I love about it. Nobody gives a shit.
No.
Yeah.
Because they're not there for them.
What would yours be, though? Because that's an interesting question.
Yeah, there's a couple guys that I think are deeply pensive. People say Hemingway all the time, which is fine. But I've got this thing about astrology a little bit. Christian Bale would be cool.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't yell at me. We're too calm.
Yeah.
And
is he calm?
Oh yeah, like
generally
speaking, he is. But I understand, like with certain circumstances where you're like super cool, right? And things are going okay, but then when things just fuck up time and time again with production, it's just like, God damn it.
Yeah.
I've broken a couple Les Pauls because I've gotten pissed about the input not working, But it's always going to be an actor for me. Daniel Day-Lewis is a brilliant choice. George C. Scott would have been fucking incredible. Lee Marvin would have been incredible. These old guys, Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, Charles Bronson. Could you imagine
only if you could smoke in the bar. Because I feel like I don't know if he smokes, but I feel like we should smoke cigarettes together.
No, I mean, I will say this. I definitely inhaled some marijuana at the bar while we were open with a couple whiskey legends. We'll talk.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
No, it's amazing.
Actually, Matthew McConaughey stopped in the bar one time.
That'd be great,
cool.
too.
Yeah.
I imagine it'd be super cool.
Well, I still stick to the story that Wild Turkey Long Branch is named after the bar. I don't care what happens.
No, of course.
I always say that. Yeah.
Actually, last answer. And thank you so much for sharing this tale of how you guys met and how Nickel City has kind of rose to this iconic state. Very, very short amount of time, a year and a half. It's going to expand. But we're going to have to say that I really want to drink some Wild Turkey with Joe Bob Briggs. Horror movie master, drive-in theater.
He could definitely come in. He would definitely be really fun there. What's the guy from Evil Dead?
Bruce
Campbell.
Yeah, Bruce
okay,
Campbell.
I met that guy.
Yeah.
Actually, Bruce Campbell, I would love because, dude, you know why? Because he, 4 years ago on Halloween, I have the tradition. I always go to Midnight Cowboy on Halloween.
Yeah.
And I went across the street to what is it? What's the dive bar that I realized on?
Oh, the one that was right across the street. Oh shit, I don't know. From Midnight Cowboy?
No.
What are you talking about?
The dive bar on 6th Street that I realized everybody still goes to.
Casino El Camino?
No.
Oh.
Anyways, he was across the street.
Shangri-La.
No.
All right.
I'm talking 36. So,
Dirty Bills?
no,
No, we're just gonna keep guessing.
yeah. So I went
Be
across
annoying.
the street, and they're like,
Coyote Ugly.
and then at that point in time, they're like, dude, Bruce Campbell's here. He's gonna jump behind the bar,
Oh fucking
right?
Yeah.
And he jumped behind the bar. He was on time. He jumped behind the bar. It was like a Comic-Con going on. And he's like, everybody want a shot? And then my friend at the time was working at the bar, and she had him a bottle of aviation gin. He just poured aviation gin.
No
shots out.
way.
But yeah, Bruce Campbell's the shit, man. I would love to.
Yes.
He's from Royal Oak, Michigan. I just
Yes, he
looked
is.
it up. He grew up like 10 minutes away
Yeah,
from
Sam
my
Raimi,
house.
the whole lot. All those guys.
Yeah.
I bet because
I knew he was from Michigan. I didn't know how far, though.
I don't know that.
he's the pride of Michigan.
Michigan's pretty rad.
It is pretty good.
okay.
This
Jack
has
White.
been
Myers.
Myers.
This has been beyond a pleasure. There's at least
Meyer.
a few more drams I'd like you guys to try after we get off mic. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the story of Nickel City. Soon to be on CNN.
If you're still awake.
There's no doubt. Thanks, guys. So
Pillow
much.
talk.
Talks.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. Well, there we have it. As I dubbed it, the story of Nickel City, Mr. Travis Tober and Mr. Brandon Hunt, a comedy cop duo. You know, I'd like to see the movie. The way in which they interplay is just hilarious, and it was one of the best times I've had recording a show in years. So, Brandon Tober, you've done amazing work with the projects. I cannot wait to see what the Fort Worth Nickel City looks like. It was a pleasure having you on, and for all of you folks who love going to Nickel City, maybe you know a little bit more why you enjoy it. This comes from the minds of these two guys, and that place is warm, inviting, and really always about the service. There's no pretension, and there's no arrogance. It's just a great place to grab a drink. A true testament to the men themselves. So thanks everybody for listening to Show to V with Mike G. No matter what you're thinking about drinking tonight in terms of mezcal, or if you're saying, you know, I want to talk about this new video project I've been working on with all the people that listen to the podcast, but I just won't yet. Please keep dancing.